Hey fellow survivors, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, episode 48, Stalwart Sickness. We are continuing with the voted priority from 2 weeks ago, which is to build a barracks and bedrooms. What is weird about this, however, is that a lot of our population are coupled, and the decision essentially is that pilgrims that are not coupled will be in a barracks, and for the moment that's just JD, so the barracks will be just JD's bedroom, which is like super odd, I get. Once Lions joins, Lions will also be in the barracks, but you know, it's very possible that JD ends up coupling up with someone else, and so it's one of those situations where we're going to build individual bedrooms for the stalwarts and barracks for the pilgrims, but there's probably not a need for a big barracks. The bottleneck here, of course, is we are flatly out of limestone. We have no limestone. And I don't think it's all that reasonable to try to deep drill for it at the moment. And the reason for this is because we have need of steel and wood, which is also deep drilled for. So I'm going to keep the deep drills focused on steel and wood to build up our steel count, which is only at 201. And our wood count, which is 0. We have no excess wood right now. It's all being burned in the wood-fired arc. So I think it's going to be important for us to build up our stockpiles before we start to do construction projects. Construction projects of that kind of scope take a while. And Twonker, thanks for all the gifted subs. Cheers. So my goal is to try to keep the populace here as productive as possible, given the ambient temperature. And an old heist, yeah, I really don't care. At the moment, going anywhere is next to impossible, because we don't have the means of transport pods, plus we don't have the resources to afford the transport pods, even if we had the tech. And that's pretty much the only way that we're going to get anywhere and back alive. Now, I could start to try to have folks like Axios. Wait, what's going on? Why can't you refine? Missing coal. I'm staring at a whole bench of coal. That's weird. I don't think the coal is claimed for any specific task. One way to double check is I can caravan it, forcing it to break from if it was being hauled or requested, and then drop it, and then it should be unclaimed. Reserved by JD. Oh, so JD's doing it. Okay. Well, then that makes a lot more sense. JD was coming to go refine, and it wasn't allowing me to refine because he was already interacting with the coal. Alright, I was kind of worried that there was like a bug that I didn't know about, and I was like, ah, crap. A bug introduced from 2 weeks ago or something. But no, we're fine. So we had expanded our hydroponics a little bit, and then we chose to grow some berries in the middle, and then rice on the edges to try to reduce the effectiveness of blights. But then Zeusin has to, of course, make a lot more components to replace the components that we use for the hydroponics. Plus, we've had a lot of breakdowns of like heaters and stuff like that. Meaning that our component usage for just general day-to-day maintenance has gone up as well. So once Zeusin's done trying to get our component count up to back to 10 or so, we'll put her back on research because she's awfully close to getting advanced fabrication, which opens up a ton of options for us. Needless to say, like biosculpting or better armor or bionics, so on and so forth. There's a lot of things that we can do with advanced components. So I am very, very eager to obtain those. Okay, we're up to 325 steel. Soon going to be dropped by the component manufacturing, but that's pretty good. Looks like power is holding really well. We have a lot of grid access right now. If you're wondering, I do not have batteries to put them in. We don't have battery tech, nor do I even have the resources to build batteries at the moment. But it's good to know that we're not going to be browning out. We did definitely have a lot of brownout timing. And I'm trying to think of a reasonable way. I mean, hypothetically, we could mine some of the mountain around here for resources because it's close to warmed zones to be able to build, but I don't see that as like a worthwhile endeavor. I think because I do have idle people, what is this, close pilgrims and close stalwarts? I think because we have idle people, I will consider hauling some of the limestone that is immediately around this area because they'll be able to fix their hypothermia. And that might be the closest resources. Just because I don't want to have to micromanage people freezing to death. It is negative 82 Celsius out, right? Like, it's the... You breathe out and your breath freezes and falls as snow levels of cold. So, I just don't want to be messing around when it's this cold. Because one mistake means losing all your digits and dying out in the frost. And, you know, that sounds bad to me. I don't know about you guys, but, like, freezing to death doesn't sound like a good time. Call me a spoil sport. So, oh, you are in water, aren't you? Just doing a bit of corpse cleanup. So that we don't have dead bodies adding to the nastiness of... Oh, okay. You didn't have to do that, JD, but alright. I guess Axios will stick around and burn this one too. So Cardinal's getting some coal. And Sheep. So Sheep is one of the newest. And Sheep has a passion and hard worker. So between those two things, she should be pretty helpful when it comes to trying to obtain iron. And then Fish Pick, of course, on wood. I need to make sure that we don't run out of wood. That would be the most dire situation possible. Wasn't there a vote for an extra deep drill for mining? There was. The thing is, I don't really have another miner, right? I have, like, 3 people that can mine. So having 4 deep drills feels excessive. More deep drills than miners is, like, not exactly efficient. Lions here, however, is a miner. So if and when Lions joins, that becomes a lot more of a possibility. Oh, I just realized there's literally nowhere to even dump the... Because we don't have access to this stone chunk zone. So I'm going to get rid of that stone chunk zone and line the stone chunks up here. I was wondering why they weren't hauling the chunks. So I'm going to allow stone chunks and slag. And now they'll be able to start using their idle downtime to haul some of the limestone. Of course, this is really far from the base, but we're definitely running out of, like, close limestone regardless. But now they're not idle anymore. And we are up to a day and a half of wood supply. Lions here. There's not really much I can do for Lions' mood that I haven't already done. You know, dining room, prison cell, it's kind of nice as it's going to be. No, one thing I could consider, and this wouldn't help Lions specifically, but it would help the rest of the stalwarts, is allowing the production of art again. Because we haven't done art in a while, but I do have a lot of slate that is pretty easy to haul, and slate makes for... So in terms of, like, art value, beauty of slate is less than 100%. Beauty of limestone is neutral. So limestone art is nicer than slate art, but we have a lot more slate than limestone. So I could consider making slate statues in order to fulfill the Stalwart's beauty needs. It's also worth noting, and I forgot to cover this in the recap, that the 20th and 21st session happened, where the Stalwarts gained a desire for art around the colony, and the Stalwarts gained benefit from automation efficiency from last stream. So they do have an art desire, and obviously it's not being fulfilled because there's virtually no art outside of the Union Hall and Council Hall sculptures. So the question to you all is, should I allocate some slate for art? Yes or no? Simple poll. And this poll is open to everyone, including pilgrims, which probably would vote no, because pilgrims don't care for art. As far as pilgrims are concerned, art is a waste of raw resources that could be used for construction, furniture, flooring, etc. So you're invited to vote for role-playing reasons, not for meta reasons. So deep drill exhaustion. Got it. Let's temporarily hook up the ground pen scanner so we can see the rest of the wood zone. So I'm going to put the deep drill here, which is honestly inconvenient, but I want to get that node there tapped before we spread any further. Wish, what are you doing? Where are you? What? Oh, you're hauling stone. Okay. And we are slowly filling up our need for limestone. We're gaining a little bit of limestone. Certainly not enough to warrant embarking on the project of building barracks and bedrooms, but it's a start. It's also worth noting that if we build barracks and bedrooms, we are going to be using even more power from the wood-powered arc. So to try to keep those bedrooms habitable. But the scanner's still powered. Good call. So even when we have the stone for it, we also need to know that we have the steel components and power for the heat. Unless, of course, we want to rely on, like, fueled heat, but the problem with fueled heat is it's very manpower heavy. It looks to me like we are going to designate some slate for art. Okay. So, if we take a look at the needs here for the Stalwarts, they want quantity of art more than quality of art. So, to that end, it makes sense to make the art as small as possible and just make a whole lot of it. Right? So, I'm going to say 4 small sculptures, and then taking a look between sheep and cardinal. See, here's the issue, is sheep and cardinal are both minors. Sheep has a burning passion in it, so I guess sheep wins in this instance. So, we'll do it. Some art to spread around the colony to celebrate our successes. Azusin's up to almost 7 components of the 10 I've requested, so we're getting there. Replenishing our component usage, and then the fuel in the wood-powered arc is up to almost 2 days. A bit more comfortable than the, like, 1.1 day that we were at just yesterday or so. Inspired taming. Oh, yeah, that's useful. I'll go tame some ice. Thanks. And GAD, cook up 2 batches of the shiny steel stuff. Oh, and a micro batch. All right. Axios getting a little hypothermic. I think he was running up here to haul stones. But I haven't seen anyone get critically hypothermic, so it seems like they're doing okay. I do believe this moisture pump has hit all of the moisture pumping that we want it to. Although there will be some corners here that aren't covered. I think I'm going to get rid of this moisture pump. I think it has done exactly what we needed to. And I'm going to have Zeusin micromanage to go do it. So Zeusin, you're going to be unrestricted for a moment. Yeah, so he's getting pretty cold at the end of that hauling. No surprise. So the plan here, of course, is to remove all of the wooden defenses, because wooden defenses are flammable and weak, replacing them with the stronger stone. And now we have a full stone wall protecting us from, well, I mean, it's not built yet, but it will be, from encroaching enemies. And we can build other moisture pumps to cover areas. I think probably the moisture pump down here is done too. I don't see that I really want to remove all the water from this zone. So I'm going to go after that one as well. In fact, one could argue that I should have gotten rid of it a while ago, as it has easily covered the area that we needed to cover already. And then we can also consider adding some new moisture pumps, which make better use of the area as well. So taking a look here, if we had like another moisture pump, maybe around here, we could get rid of all the wet in this zone, and then we want another one over there. I'm not going to do this quite yet, though, because I would want it to be a voted priority before embarking upon it, because it's not a, it's a relatively expensive project. Huva, thank you for the resub. And Mac Lynn and Sir Cardinal. Cheers. The Outlaw Lair. Well, as much as I'd love a Tech Prof Persona Core, we're really not going to be able to survive going anywhere and coming back home. The other thing I just realized I don't have is a stockpile for uninstalled buildings. Which is exactly where art would go, so we'll put one in. We have, like, tons of pawns that are pretty hypothermic, which is a bit of a worry. I'm trying to keep an eye on it, making sure that none of them hit deadly levels. And then the deconstruction of the moisture pumps means that we have hit the component requirements that we were after. So I'm going to finish this component here that's in progress, and then we can put Zeusin back on research. But I'm definitely going to want a constructor to build... so I'm going to pull Fishpick off of his mining duties to build this wall, because this is kind of a mission-critical wall. Now, the question here is, should I wait for the moisture pump to fully expand before trying to build defenses here? Or should I have interim defenses, like temporary defenses, to make use of this zone? Because I could definitely set up a better, like, shooting barricades to go down range now, with the zone as it is. And maybe I can also wait, like, 1.2 days for it to expand one more time. or to just wait for full expansion. Should I set up temporary defenses in the center island? Yes or no? Another simple yes/no question. Want a dog treat? Another thing I realized is as Zeusin is working on fabrication, she is too busy to do tailoring, so we'll also have her return to tailoring as well. We're up to 500 steel, which feels real good. We had a massive deficit of steel, or rather need of steel for a while there, so we have managed to truly supplement what we did not have before. And that is done. And here she is tailoring. As a Dutchman, watching the moisture pumps do their thing is a very satisfying thing to witness. I'd say so too. Wow, you guys are tied. I'll give one more minute on the poll here, and then if it's still tied, I'll flip a coin. Was not really expecting a tied vote. And now that Zeusin's done with her fabrication tasks... Oh, no. Finish whatever you were tailoring. There we go. We'll put her to work. Back on research. Or not. She's like, I'm rather make a tube. Wow, it is negative almost 90 Celsius. Dear Lord. Could we just heat wave, please? Alright, the A's have it. We will be building temporary defenses in the center island. The follow-up question I have to that is, should I build new moisture pumps? It would require power, components, steel. But because moisture pumps expand slowly, you know, the sooner I do it, the better it would be. And the idea here is to try to dry out the entire center island so that I can build defenses as I wish to have. So I'd build like a moisture pump maybe here and here, trying to dry up these spots so that I could treat this entire center as like one big bunker. The idea, the vision that I have here is to have like walls and barricades here, and then like an inner structure here as like a forward hospital, so that we fight and then we can dip into walled cover. That's sort of the grand idea, so that we're able to fire every cardinal direction from the center island, like out towards this kill box, but then have hard cover if we're getting overwhelmed or shot at or whatever. So that is the big idea, if you will. And if you guys do want more moisture pumps, I'm going to have to disable automatic fuel so that we have a little bit of wood to be able to build bridges, because you can't start moisture pumps on, you know, not bridged areas. Peddling Fire, thank you for the resub. And happy Sunday to you too, man. Would it not be useful to replace the wooden doors first? I'm not going to say it wouldn't be useful. Yes, it would be useful to replace the wooden doors first, but I think the doors aren't really the bottleneck here. The bottleneck, or really I would say the danger that we have more than anything else is any shooters here getting shot to death. Because if these doors break, we still have other doors. you know, the doors, there's some redundancy built in there. So my primary concern is to make sure that that there is no issues with our defenders actually getting slain. Meaning constructing moisture pumps over here would be great. Now the other thing I could do, if we take a look at the range of this moisture pump, I could build a moisture pump here that will dry out this area eventually, like if I placed it here. Let's try to get the dimensions of this so I can see it. I wish I could... So 713. So if I placed it here, it would be... No. Like that. That's not really the center point, is it? Yeah. This is some, so it would dry out those two spots. So I think putting a moisture pump here is ideal. It will leave some wet over here, but it will eventually cover that door. So let's go ahead and plan that. One bridge there. And the other bridge is, like, less necessary to perfectly center it. So I'll just have it be... Actually, I'll have it be there. So those are the two bridges for the two additional moisture pumps. And then if we really wanted... once those two are built... Once the southern one is done, I'll figure out, like, the... Being able to actually see the range will make it easy to plan the last one. But it looks like you guys do want new moisture pumps. So we'll plan on it. So Cardinal's building up a bit of wood supply so that we can build the bridges that are needed. Looking good. I'm eager to see Zeusin start researching. I turned on the entire research lab and, like, Zeusin hasn't actually been doing anything. Wow, Winter, you should not be... Okay, I did something wrong here. Let's take you off on plant cut, because you're awful at it. Really, truly awful at it. Alright, seems to me like we have a buildup of coal without a buildup of iron, so I'm going to turn off the coal so that we get more iron, because it's like a 4-to-1 ratio, and it's really askew now. And let's also stick the first statue that we have into our rec and dining room. Cheers! Ah, here she goes. Finally. So you have a moisture pump here. As you can see, it does cover the door and wall that would need to be dried out. It's going to be hard to protect this moisture pump from damage because it's surrounded by deep water, so I can't build walls there. So I can surround it as well as I'm able to, but that one's going to be a bit challenging to keep alive. Luckily, it's going to be relatively cheap to power because I can power it from the other side of the water. And temporarily, I'm going to have Fishpick construct over mine so that we can get this little project done. Although he's going to need to be stuck somewhere warm in a second. Ron, move it! So all the limestone that I queued up to be hauled has been hauled. It built our supply up to, in total, it's going to be around 360 or so limestone, which is a pretty good amount for a building. Yeah, we are down to negative 90. It is so cold. Like, cold enough that we struggle to get somewhere warm. Definitely gonna have to keep an eye on that. Does the cold keep the raiders away? Not really, no. I wish. And then Alliance here, if you're wondering, is down to 2 resistance. So that's going to... she's going to join pretty soon. Oh, this expansion was not helpful. Oh well. So the plan for this zone, because you did vote for temporary defenses, let's do wall, wall, wall. And this, of course, uses some limestone, but, you know, oh well. And that will give us a area to shoot from, and then we can build a door. I'll build it out of wood. Here. We really don't need firing to the north, actually, now I think about it. Because, well, there's a wall there. And the idea is then to have a small area in this spot for pawns to be able to take shelter. Like that. It's also possible that we can capture enemies for conversion reasons. And I'm going to replace the waterproof conduit with just normal conduit. Hidden ones, rather. So you can see the sort of simple design. Although the only problem that I see here is having doors that lead to a moisture pump. Trying to step over a moisture pump to get to cover is going to suck, so. Am I going to install a heater in this room? I wouldn't say I'm planning on it, but it might happen. Madsen, Zeus, and sheep. Oof. So with Zeusin getting ill, I guess it was only Stalwarts. I'm going to have Zeusin preach health to sheep. So that she can get back to making art sooner than later. And then have them all rest until healed in the hospital. So you can see if I put like a moisture pump maybe here, it will dry out this area, and then the other one here. So best doc that is not sick would be JD or Axios. Alright, Axios. Let's start tending, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tend with herbal. I'll just issue herbal... Well, no, let's undo that. I'll just issue herbal to those that are actually sick. So Zeusin, Madsen, sheep. So we had grown a batch of Hillroot, and I'm glad I did it, because apparently we need it. Nope. I didn't mean to hit combat command. Meant to hit work drive and totally missed. Oof. Well, serves... Oh, marriage. Madsen and sheep. I guess let's have you sleep in the other bed. It's like as sheep is sleeping with another woman. Hey, you want to get married? It's like, no, man. This is not your... Ain't the time for that. Mind out of gutter. Winter, what were you doing? Deconstruction tasks always take a back seat, so I'm going to prioritize them higher. I know it's going to screw up the power for a minute. Actually, it really won't. Not until we have the other moisture pump down here that we need. But to that end, I really don't need this cable, like, at all. Because the last moisture pump could be powered up from hidden conduit. Not that I'm getting refunds, but the waterproof stuff is ugly. So I'm getting rid of it for that reason alone. And we're fighting hypothermia again. You just stay in that room. Has no one flicked... oh, yes. Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? I just realized no one can actually flick off these benches, or that bench, because they are not allowed there. For zoning reasons. Because that's a Zeus-and-only zone. Well, glad I caught that. It's crazy to think that the flu virus can survive in these temperatures. Of course, RimWorld doesn't have that concept, really. But still, negative 83. I guess the virus is in our bodies that we're keeping it incubated. If you think of it that way, that's pretty weird. So we're down to 21 hours on the arc gen. So I'm gonna make sure to refuel it. All right, 1.8 days. I don't think we have need of any more wood anywhere. Oh, no, that's not true. We have need for at least 25 more wood for this door. So, yeah, let's keep wood from being automatically hauled in. And Lord Sydney, thank you for the resub. Been a while since you could catch a stream. Well, pleasure to have you here. And Lions will be joining any minute now. Be good to have another pilgrim miner. And being another pilgrim means that we will need another bed. Although we could just take the bed here. I was thinking of making a bed, but we'll just take the prisoner's bed and move it over. It'll save us some power too, which is nice. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Frostwardens, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow survivors.